What is going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome. This is, of course, the Picture All Network. I'm its host and creator, Tyzilla83. I hope you're doing really well. The AP dropped their top 25 poll, so we're going to go over that. We're just going to kind of glance over it and talk about it a little bit. But before we get into that, if you guys would, at the end of the video, like, comment, share the content that you just watched. Of course, if you haven't already, feel free to tap the subscribe button. Don't forget the notification bell. It's no longer just enough to be a subscriber to the channel. If you want the most recent content, if you want notifications for the most recent video pushed out, you need to hit that bell. I don't know what's going on at YouTube. They're trying to figure stuff out, but until they do, just tap the bell. So let's talk about this poll really quick. So I will definitely leave the link to the preseason top 25 poll in the description box, and I'll go ahead and copy and paste this poll and put it down below in the comments section where you can go down and look at it for yourself. Maybe you can let your voice be heard, and maybe you don't agree with what I say, or maybe you do. Let me know down below in the comments section, or don't be shy. Reply to the top 25 poll comment and tell me what problems you may have with it. So we'll start with 1 through 10 first, and that starts off with Alabama at 1, Clemson, Georgia, Wisconsin, Ohio State for now at 5. We'll have to wait and see what's going on with Urban Meyer. And then Washington at 6, Oklahoma at 7, Miami at 8, Auburn at 9, Penn State at 10. Now, saying that, I would probably move Miami up a couple spots. I don't know that I'd keep Oklahoma in the top 10. I think there's a pretty big question as to how much of last year was Baker Mayfield and what they had last year versus Lincoln Riley and what they have this year. There's some question marks at Oklahoma, but, I mean, Lincoln Riley, it seems like he knows exactly what he's doing. He fit in just right at Oklahoma. Maybe they have another great year. But right now, just based on who, from the outside looking in, who looks better to me is definitely Miami. I think Mark Richt just has Miami rocking. When you look at how well they did last year and their recruiting efforts and everything. And again, it's not like Oklahoma didn't do those things either. I just think coming into this year, I just kind of feel like, Miami's better than maybe even Washington. And if Urban Meyer is out at Ohio State, I would probably even put, at that point, maybe put Miami in the top 5. Now, Wisconsin at 4, look at that strength of schedule last year. It was a joke. Saying that, they're bringing back a lot of pieces. I wouldn't put them in the top 5, but I probably would put them somewhere in the top 10. Going from 11 to 20, you're going to have Michigan State at 11, Notre Dame, Stanford, Michigan, USC at 15th, and behind them you're going to have TCU, West Virginia, Mississippi State at 18, Florida State and Virginia Tech at 20. I'd probably move West Virginia ahead of TCU and USC, maybe even Michigan, and leave them somewhere between 14 and 16. I think where I'd probably put them, but not a huge deal, right? I think all those teams are probably worthy of being in the top 20. Mississippi State returning a lot of experience, some pretty good talent. That quarterback's back. Fitz is back at quarterback, so they look pretty good. And again, as much coverage as I've done on the SEC in this offseason, Mississippi State, I don't know. A lot of it's going to have to do with how well this head coach meshes with this team that he's inherited, because he's inherited a hell of a team. Florida State, new coach, getting some guys back, trying to get healthy. I haven't kept up with them in the offseason, so I'm just going to say sure. I don't know if they should be at top 20 or not. I was talking with a friend of mine about this poll, and he said he felt like Florida State shouldn't have even been ranked. I don't know. I just don't know enough about them, so I'm going to leave them alone. But I have done enough on West Virginia and Mississippi State. I agree that they both should be in the top 20, and I could even see West Virginia, again, moving them up a couple spots. And then from 21 to 25, you have UCF, Boise State, Texas, Oregon, and LSU at 25. LSU, I just don't – what do you really have to grasp onto at LSU this year? I mean, they're down to 2 scholarship quarterbacks, and everyone else behind them at that position are walk-ons. You don't really have a stud running back. We know they've got some talented young wide receivers. They're going to have White at linebacker. Their secondary is going to be strong. So we know defensively they're probably going to be okay, but offensively I just don't know. Orgeron has definitely made some questionable moves since being the head coach, and I don't know that they're going to pay off. And this year could be the beginning of going into next year, putting him on a real hot seat. I just, even the ESPN Football Power Index has them at 6-6. Now, Does that mean they're going to win only 6 games? No, I think they're probably capable of winning more, but, especially when you consider the talent that they have on that roster. But, that's just a pretty strong indicator of where things are currently at LSU. The outlook isn't exactly great. Again, that Football Power Index, the FPI at ESPN, it's not always exact. But, again, that's pretty telling. As far as the rest, UCF does not belong in the top 25. All the components that made them great last year are pretty much gone outside the quarterback. The coaches at Nebraska, the other, they've just kind of been dismantled. I really don't know why anybody put them in the top 25. I wouldn't. Definitely put them on the bubble for sure. I would definitely put them on the bubble to be ranked, but I wouldn't put them at 21. Boise State, Texas, and Oregon, I think are fine. I think they're okay where they're at. Again, let's wait until – my whole thing on preseason polls is they shouldn't. I just don't believe in them. Put a poll out week 4 or week 6. So what you ought to do, what I try to do every year is take this poll, look at it, copy and paste it somewhere, and then in 3 or 4 weeks take a look back and see if those teams are still where they're at. And that'll give you an idea of how accurate they were up until that point on the preseason poll. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking it out. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, share the content. If you haven't already, feel free to tap the subscribe button. And go check out the PTN Patreon page. I'd really appreciate that. That's awesome when that grows and we get some new members. I'll give you a shout-out and everything else. To anyone who's donated or to those of you who have joined the Patreon page, I really do appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. You're a part of this. You're a part of the growth and all the positive things that have been happening around the channel lately. It's thanks to you guys, all of you, and those of you who just share the content and just watch everything and comment down below. I really do appreciate that. So that'll do it for this video. That will conclude Monday's video. We'll have hopefully have 2 more videos out for you this week, Wednesday and Friday. So keep a lookout for those, and we'll see you guys then. Take it easy.